Hi, everyone. I think I have all my audio settings right now, but you never know. Happy Monday. If there is an echo, I see a couple of you popping on. Would you mind letting me know right away? I always have to mute on my end so that I don't get a lot of feedback in the sound, and then I don't know if you guys can hear an echo at all when I do that. So for those of you popping on, hi Sharon. Okay, great. I'm seeing your comments. Hello, Paula. Those of you who are watching from my VIP group, hello. I see some of you are here. This might be Julie. I'm not sure. It just tells me Facebook user. So, okay, great. I see no echo. Perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Tonight, I am super excited to share with you a little simple to stepped up, but on purpose tonight, I kept my die cutting out of it because I wanted to show all of you how you can do simple to stepped up and do some really pretty cards without having to do any die cutting at all. So I do have a punch involved in our bundle tonight, and I think you're really going to like what I have in store, but I know there are so many people who have asked me about economical ways to do die cutting and whatnot, and so I just wanted to make sure that those of you who don't have die cutting tools can do simple to stepped up and some fun cards too. So super excited. Hi, Julie, Sherry, Sue. So good to see all of you. Thanks for watching me tonight. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm actually live right now on both Facebook and YouTube. So whichever platform you prefer, that's how I am going live now every Monday. I have a Make It Monday live every Monday at 7 Central Time. So make sure you set your alarms if you love the stamping that I do. If you're new, welcome. Super glad that you're here. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back. For the newbies, my name is Rose Grunwald. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I love Stampin' Up because they make a really high quality product and they are spot on at color coordinating. So tying all of your layers and pieces and papers together is so easy. That's my favorite part about Stampin' Up. If you are watching and you are a Facebook user, please go and like my page on Facebook, Country Cards by Rose. If you are on YouTube, you can find my YouTube channel there, Country Cards by Rose. For those YouTube watchers who would like to interact with me, you'll have to log into your YouTube account for me to see your comments here. So just a little housekeeping about that. And you just need a Google account, I think, to have a YouTube account. So super easy. Thank you, Sarah. That's so sweet. Sarah says she always loves my inspiration. And that is a super, super awesome comment. So thank you for sharing that with me, Sarah. I love it. I see lots of people hopping on. I think you're really going to like what I have tonight. And there's a lot of stuff going on. So I am not going to wait. I am just going to get started. So let me flip here. Ooh, there we go. Okay, I got to turn on another light. So I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but the first thing I want to talk about is a couple things going on. Just some reminders for those of you who like a good deal. There is a designer series paper sale going on right now through the end of the month. So you get to save 15% on some select designer series paper. What Stampin' Up! Did was take all of the most popular designs from their annual catalog and they've discounted them. So the ones on sale are here in the flyer. I'm not sure that you can see them all. Yeah, no, you totally can't. But Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, Hand Penned, In Good Taste, In the Wild, Pansy Petals, Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas, and You're a Peach. That goes till the end of the month. And then just yesterday, Stampin' Up! Released the next paper pumpkin. So the next paper pumpkin kit is Hope in a Box, and you can subscribe to that now through August 10th. So it looks like this kit is full of lots of bright, pretty colors. I'm seeing some butterflies, some purples and blues and pinks. You get to make 9 cards with the kit, and it comes with coordinating envelopes. And of course, every paper pumpkin kit comes with a little Stampin' Spot, which is a mini travel size ink spot, and an exclusive stamp set that you can't get anywhere else. The box, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And they always have a lot of kind of generic sentiments that can be used for any occasion, really. And then one last thing to remind you of, my Tidings and Trimmings class to go is available. The pre-order is only available for about 3 more days. So if you've been thinking about getting this class, you do not want to wait any longer to place your pre-order. So the class comes with some consumables here. And you actually, I'm going to type where you're able to go here so you can see this. If you go to my website, www.rosegrunwald.com, across the top you'll see online classes or classes to go. You can pre-order there. So don't wait, because I don't want them to sell out on you. But the class comes with a full roll of the Evening Evergreen Chevron trim. We've got a full pack of holiday rhinestones included. You get a half a pack of the Tidings of Christmas Designer Series paper. And these designs are super, super gorgeous. They kind of give me that rustic country Christmas feel. And you get to make 16 cards. So you're making 2 each of 8 designs. And we made this one last week on my live. That's one of the cards that you get to make in the class. Isn't that gorgeous? We had a lot of fun doing some layering, and I taught you my tuck-in layering technique that I use to make pretty layers on my cards. So that is one of the cards in the class. And then you also get to make this fun fold. We've got another pretty layered card here. And this one is my favorite. Oh my gosh, this gorgeous, pretty layered card. All of those in your class. The option with just consumables before adding on, anything else is only $42.50. That includes tax and shipping. So that's a pretty darn good deal. Envelopes are included in your class. Okay, and then one last thing before I get to stamping. I'm going to be rolling out some grab bags later this week. And so I went through a bunch of my retired products, and I put together these really cute grab bags of stuff from the January to June mini catalog. I've got, I think, about 10 of them or so. So they would be available first come, first serve. I am going to roll these out to my VIPs first. My VIPs will get first chance at ordering, and then whatever is left, I will roll out to the general public. These will be $15 plus shipping. So most of the kits have a stamp set in. A lot of the stamp sets have never been used, but there might be some used ones in there. Either a full or partial roll of like a twine or a ribbon, some sort of embellishment. And then there's about 48 to 50 pieces of assorted 6x6 designer series paper in here. So it's not a full pack of any one kind, but an assorted 6x6. So I'll roll that out to my VIPs. Those of you watching in my VIP group, you know who you are. You'll get first dibs on this. How do you join my VIP group? Well, I'm so glad you asked. All you have to do is order from my online store, and that will get you access to my private VIP group. So, all right, let's stamp, huh? Okay, we are going to start out tonight. I'm doing 3 cards. We're doing simple to stepped up. So I am featuring this Flowers of Friendship bundle, and if you have seen any of the beautiful cards online, the ideas and inspiration just keep coming for this one. I almost overlooked this bundle till I saw some other demonstrators doing some beautiful stuff with it. There's 10 images in the stamp set. This is a clean stamp. And you've got, you know that I love my mixed fonts. It's got some beautiful mixed fonts, some pretty flower images, delicate ones. And then the punch here coordinates with this large and small leaf and then the large and small flower petals. And you can layer these on top of each other to make a pretty flower. I've seen a lot of people putting a little pearl right in the center of those flowers, and it is gorgeous. So I'm going to show you some things you can do with this stamp set to make a quick and easy simple card or to step it up a bit. So you know, if you watch my stamping, I like to do kind of tone on tone. That's I do a lot of tone on tone stamping, and we're going to do some of that tonight. A lot of like white on white is in right now. Super, super popular, crisp. These cards that we're making are going to be clean and simple cards without a lot of fuss and muss. All right, I'm just going to grab one of these because I like that little cushion beneath my surface. I see Melanie saying she would love one of my grab bag packages. Hey, if they don't sell out in my VIP group, girl, they're totally up for grabs. Okay, we're going to be doing some coloring with our blends tonight. I've got Poppy Parade, dark and light, and our new, you know what's funny? I totally thought as I was coloring that I was using soft succulent because I was playing around this weekend. And I just realized as I looked at the color that this is not soft succulent. This is just jade. And what's really funny is I was talking to my friend Jody and I showed her the card I was going to make tonight. And she goes, "That's soft succulent? It doesn't look like it." Well, she was right. It is not soft succulent. It is just jade. So we're using Poppy Parade and Just Jade Stampin' Blends. Now I'm inking up the flower image here, and as you see, I'm actually inking up the stamp with my ink pad. This is super, super helpful when you have a larger stamp like this. I've got a piece of Basic White here, and this is just your standard card front layer, 5 1/4 inches tall by 4 inches across. We're making a tall card. And I got a little smudge there, so let's turn this over. I'm just going to stamp this here, like so. And then our sentiment I'm using says, "Life is better with friends like you." Ooh, Sharon likes this stamp set and punch. Like I said, I almost overlooked it. I'm glad that I saw it. I'm having a hard time inking this up. I don't think that there we go. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp this right here next to our image, just like this. Of course, if you do not have blends or you don't like to color, you could absolutely leave this just as it is. But I'm going to do a little coloring here. So let's start off with Poppy Parade. Now, for those of you new to our blends, Stampin' Blends are alcohol markers. They dry really quickly and they blend together really great because the ink dries so quickly. Now, they are dual point ends. One is a broad tip, kind of like a paintbrush end. I know I have a little bit of a shadow here, so trying to get the lighting a little bit better. And then the other is a finer tip end. And when you take the cover off, I always like to just pop it on the other side of the cover. So I kind of go back and forth for how I like to do this, but tonight I'm starting with my light. And I'm just coloring in. Now, of course, because I'm watching, I may have a hard, or because I'm having people watch me, I may have a hard time staying in the lines. You know how when you type, and someone's looking over your shoulder, and then all of a sudden you can't type for anything. That's what I feel like this is like coloring. Knowing you're all watching, and I'm showing you how good I can color. So are you a colorer or are you a not colorer? I know that there are all sorts of different types of stampers out there. Some of them absolutely love to color in their images. Others like to leave their images solid and do, say, like a two-step stamping or to skip the color. Which kind of stamper are you? Do you like those open images that you can color, or do you like solid images that you don't have to color? I know when I was first becoming a stamper, my upline and I said, I just don't know which stamps to get in my starter kit. And she said, well, do you like to color or do you not like to color? And I guess I never thought about it. And she pointed out, hey, a lot of these images, you're going to have the opportunity to color them in if that's something you like or not. You just have to kind of figure that out. And as a beginner, I guess I never really thought about it. It turns out I like to color a lot with our blends. But I see a lot of people saying, I like it all. I like to color in a two-step stamp. Boy, I sure love this from Judy. Color or no color, I like it all. That's exactly how I feel. Oh my gosh. I was about to color my leaves in with Poppy Parade too, and that would not be good. Okay, so I'm using my Just Jade. I totally thought this is soft succulent, and it's not. It's just jade. No wonder it was such a bright, beautiful green. My friend, or Jody, said to me, that does not look soft like soft succulent. And I was like, I don't know. That's what it is. Well, it wasn't. So funny. All right, so I'm coloring my light first. And I didn't tell you as I went to the flowers, but what I like to do, I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I'll do the dark first and then follow up with the light. I usually do that if I'm going to do a lot more shading, just to kind of get started in a few areas, and then I take a look at where I think I need to add it once the light is in there. But this is a kind of small image, so I like to start with the light, a nice solid base, and then kind of come and fill in with the dark. And a little tip, I like to just use the lines and shading that Stampin' Up! Gives me. And that is usually my guide for where I place the dark color or the shading. So in this case, I really need to get another light in here. It's a little dark. So in this case, I just followed like the lines that they have in there, and that's where I put my shading. Isn't that beautiful? Super simple and pretty, very clean, crisp and clean card. All right, and now I have got a piece of basic white thick cardstock here. Now I have cut this as just a half a sheet of cardstock, so this is 5.5 by 8.5, and I do score my thick basic white sheet because it's just thicker and I like a nice crisp fold. So folding that and burnishing with my bone folder. And then this piece is just going to go right on top. So we're just adding a colored layer over a colored layer. Now you might ask, why didn't I just stamp here and have a really super simple card? Well, the alcohol inks do blend through your layer. And so I decided I would make this a layer and glue it on. So getting out my Stampin' Seal here. And I'm just going to glue this down right in the center of our card front. Now when I place this, before I kind of smooth out all my layers, I'm watching the top, the side, and the bottom, and I'm making sure that those are about equal, and then I know that my card front is layered. So there's our first card. This is super simple, really quick. This would make just a beautiful thank you, thinking of you, even sympathy. Sometimes you just need a quick card to just whip up when you have to send one out. And sometimes it's nice to just take these simple cards and make a big stack of them so they're easy to grab. And these bright colors really make it pop. So there's our first card, our first simple card. And now we're going to do another card, and we're going to step it up just a little bit. So let's set that aside. Okay, now for my next card, I do have another piece of basic white thick for my card base. I'm going to set that aside. And then I have a piece of basic white, and this is 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/2 inches. And then I also will need a couple scraps here. So I'm just going to grab from this little scrap pile here. I think I'll do this one first. So let's do our stamping. So now we're going to step this up a little bit. Oh, thank you, everyone. I'm seeing hearts, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying what a beautiful, simple card. This stamp set makes it super easy to make beautiful, simple cards, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just stamping this off to the side because all I want right now are these little flowers. And as I'm looking at this, I feel like this would make a beautiful corner of an envelope. What do you think, huh? Sometimes we stamp things and take a look and realize it would be really, really pretty as another layer. Sometimes I stamp the insides of my card and I think, oh, that would make a beautiful outside. Now, if you are looking for supplies, you can get any of these supplies in my online store. You can get a link to shop there by going to my website, www.rosegrunwald.com. You can find a link there to shop my online store. And of course, you'll see everything that we have available. Scrolling along the bottom of my screen right now tells you my host code for June, and I think that's a typo because we're in July, obviously. That host code still works. So if you've got an order to place, you can use that host code. If your order is under $150, if it's over $150 though, we should talk, because you really then need to be signing up as a discount shopper, and you can get like $125 of product for only $99, and there's no shipping added on to that. And then as long as you keep your discount shopper status active, which costs you nothing, by the way, it's just based on how much you order. As long as that's active, you get 20% off your stuff. Now, Celebration is starting next month, and they're doing a sweet deal for new discount shoppers where once you sign up with the kit, you are going to get to pick from a selection. I think they usually do some bonus stuff, like bundles or something like that. So then you sweeten the deal even more, which I love. And if you're going to spend that much money, you might as well get a discount, right? I mean, we like to save money. So I'm just going to set this aside for right now. Actually, I'm not going to set it aside. All right, what we're going to do is fussy cut these flower tops out. So let me give you my best fussy cutting tips. My first one is make your areas smaller. So it's really hard to be fussy cutting like a big old piece of paper. So I always cut my area smaller. Now, my next tip, or the thing you should want to make sure of, I guess I don't even know that this is a tip so much as a must-have. You need to have a good sharp scissors with a nice precision point. And I'll finish cutting this out and show you what I mean by that. So these are the paper snips by Stampin' Up! And do you see how that point is like super, super sharp and precision? It's that way so that you can just kind of go in here and really get in those nooks and crannies and snip that out. Do you see how small of an area I just snipped out? Like there's that tiny, tiny piece right on my tip of my scissors. So that precision point is super helpful. Now, these particular flowers don't have a lot of kind of precision point stuff you gotta cut out, so they actually are the perfect images for fussy cutting. Another tip for fussy cutting, as I'm doing this, you notice I'm not turning my scissors very much. What I'm actually doing is turning my paper. So I will kind of constantly keep my scissors closing. So I start open and then I'm slowly closing. So the scissors are always moving. And as I do that, I am just maneuvering my paper around. So I'm not moving the scissors. Those are actually barely moving at all. I'm moving the paper. My next tip is to leave just a little bit of white space here as you're fussy cutting, because we are not perfect. We are humans, and these are handmade. And when you leave that little bit of white space, you clearly kind of designate this is handmade. And it doesn't matter if you are equidistant or screw up a little bit. So that's what that white space helps you to do. And if you don't like the white space, I have before taken some blends and colored right to the edge after I have fussy cut to kind of get rid of that white space. And so that's a little tip there for you. All right, we need to do a little punching now with our punch. So I'm mounting the small leaf and the larger leaf. These are A blocks. And before we do that, let's do a little stamping so I can just make sure I cut out what I need. Okay, so here we go again, inking up my stamp. Now, this time our layer is quite a bit smaller than our first card. So I need to be very careful how I space these. So I'm turning this ever so slightly here. I want to, because I have to leave enough room for the sentiment here next to my flower. And before I do a whole bunch of work getting all this done, I'm going to stamp my sentiment right on here. And I feel like see how I always check my stamp because I've got some blobs on here and I don't want that to be blobby on my card. The S just doesn't, I'm going to clean this off and start from scratch here. The S was a little blobby. I don't like that. So let's try this again. There we go. All right. Okay, this will fit right in here. There we go. All right, now I see on this image we have 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves, and it looks like 1 big and 3 small. So let's grab my punch and let's see. Okay, so if I point this little leaf towards the outside, should be able to punch it. So I'm kind of looking at the configuration of my leaf here, and I'm going to punch first so I don't spend a bunch of time coloring something that might not punch out well. So I'm just lining up that leaf here, punching it out. And we're going to make this even easier and just get rid of this extra. We'll do the same. I wonder if I can get 2 of these on here. We'll see. So again, I'm flipping over my, just punching. And let's see if I can get one down here. So, are you a fussy cutter? Some people just absolutely loathe the fussy cutting, and other people find it therapeutic. It really depends on my mood, but I have to say that for the most part, I find it therapeutic. In fact, depending on my mood, I might actually choose to fussy cut before I die cut. Isn't that strange? Even if I have a coordinating die, but sometimes they're just so easy. It's just faster to die cut yourself. So let me know in the comments, are you a fussy cutter? This corner doesn't want to go in there, so I'm just going to snip that off. One thing I will do sometimes is, like, while John and I are watching TV or on our way up north or something like that, I will sometimes bring a bunch of stamped images. Hi, Gail. I'll sometimes bring a bunch of stamped images and my scissors and like my snips and a little box or container. And what I will do is fussy cut on our ride and then kind of assemble the cards once I get back. So that is something I've done before, and it can be kind of therapeutic, or I can take it downstairs and do some fussy cutting while I'm watching TV. And I've seen a lot of other stampers say, especially when we get that pretty like designer series paper with those fun images you can cut out. And there are some good ones coming up in the next catalog that releases in a couple of weeks. They'll just take it and watch TV and fussy cut some of those images out. So hi, Carol, welcome. For those of you who just joined me, sharing is caring. And I absolutely love it when you share my videos. And of course, when you do that, you are helping to support my small business. So whether you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, I would love it if you would just take a minute and hit that share button. I'm super passionate about finding time to be creative and getting to make cards, and so when you share my video, it gets creativity into all sorts of people's homes, and I just really appreciate that. So if you hit that share button, I so appreciate it. All right, now we've got these pretty petals colored and our leaves colored, and we are going to start assembling. Now, those of you who watch me know I'm not always a fan of using the edges of my dimensional sheet, but I do love using the edges of my mini dimensional sheet because the edges on these are like wider, and I make a lot of strips that go onto my pieces. So I am using everything up here, and I'm going to post all my dimensionals on here first before I peel off and get to sticking. Judy says fussy cutting depends on the stamp set. It's good to do in the evening since I don't have a TV. Oh my goodness. Judy, do you know what? I sometimes think that we need to get rid of our TV. I don't think my husband would like that comment very much, so I hope he's not watching me. But I sometimes think, who needs a TV? And actually, I watch TV very, very little. But I know some people who do not have a television, and they just love doing their thing. So good for you, Judy. I think that is awesome. I just imagine a peaceful, quiet home where you can do all sorts of stamping in the evening. No TV around to distract. Okay, so I am now putting these flower petals that we just cut out over the top of our flower petals on our layer here. Just like this. What are you thinking of our stepped up card so far? Definitely not quite as simple as our last one, but I feel like it's still doable. Just something that gives a little extra to whoever it is opens our happy mail when we send it to them. Oh my gosh, Judy says, much less stress. You know what? I totally hear you on that. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Glad you could make it. You know, some years back, I went with the Wisconsin Lions Club on a mission to Mexico. And we were there, and we had an eyeglass mission where I'm just interrupting my story here for a minute. I'm going to pop some dimensionals onto the back side of this piece and put it on our card front layer. And we delivered eyeglasses to those in the country or in the area we were in who could not afford eye care and eyeglasses. And so many of you probably see, especially if you're from Wisconsin, and I assume Lions clubs do this in every state, that you can donate like your used eyeglasses. And oh my goodness, we went there and there was, of course, zero time for TV. We were so busy and having such a good time and helping the people, and the technology in the areas we go to there, this isn't straight, sorry, is just not what we're used to here. And when I came back and I heard TVs in that airport, I wanted to gouge out my ears because it was just so stressful and so much noise and just like too much. So when you say it is much less stressful, I totally get you, because I know what that was like coming back to all of that. It was just like overload. All right. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Robin. Welcome. Here's our next card. So a little bit more stepped up than our first. So here's our first, just colored on a simple layer. And here's our stepped up. We've popped up those images, the leaves and the flower tops. And then we popped up our card front layer to add a little bit more dimension to our card. What do you think? So we've got simple and a little more stepped up. Are we ready for our way stepped up card? So this would be casual. This is probably, so we've got simple, casual. Now we're going to make a more avid card. All right. So I'm actually going to spill the beans and tell you that we are doing the same thing with our leaves and our flower petals that we did on the last card. So let me, I didn't plan this very good. Let me get to punching these. And of course I am like all messed up here. I didn't do this right. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, this one has to be facing out. Usually if I do this, I make a template, but I didn't tonight. It's like on my template, I will like cut out a punch and then I know exactly where I need to punch. When you don't have that, it's just super easy to go in the four corners with a punch like this. So that's what I'm going to do. Hi, Kay. Welcome. Thanks for sharing. Like I said, sharing is caring. Okay. And I really didn't think this through either, because now I'm having a hard time. I'm just going to cut this as a strip. That will make it easier. And of course, when you're live, it's not going to go right. We know that. That's how Kay found me. Oh my goodness. Someone shared and she found me. And Kay watches me totally regularly. So how wonderful that someone shared and that's how you found me, right? Sometimes it's like with anything. Someone shares their favorite restaurant or something like that, and we go and it becomes our favorite restaurant, right? So you really help to support my small business when you share. There's all sorts of algorithms that help to get my video in front of more people, which you know I'm super passionate about and super excited about. So I just always appreciate when you share my video. You're really, really helping me out. Okay. I should have taken my own advice and inked up the flower. Hi, Gloria. Welcome. Thanks for sharing. You know what I do every time I'm live after this, at this time of year anyway? I go downstairs, and I know Judy doesn't do this, but I do this because it's my guilty pleasure. I watch The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, and John makes fun of me because he says it's too much drama, and I just soak it up, and we laugh about how much drama there is. So I guess I'm wondering if I have any Bachelor or Bachelorette fans here that also like to watch the show. Thank goodness for DVR. This season is Katie's season. And let me tell you, she is a little spitfire. She definitely was standing up to bullies. She was on The Bachelor before, and she was standing up to all the bullies in the house. So I thought it was super cool that they picked her because she was not afraid to speak her mind. And that's the kind of woman I am too. Oh, sorry. Sandy says you can't see my coloring. Sorry about that. I got to telling stories and talking about The Bachelorette. So coloring the leaves, first I did my light Just Jade blend. And now I'm coming in with the dark. And for those joining me who didn't catch my tips before, I'm just using the shaded areas or the lines here on the leaves as my guide already for like that Stampin' Up! Already has on there as my guide for creating my shading on my leaves. So like if you look at the image, there's already a line there in the center. That's where I'm placing the dark coloring. And we're going to do the same thing with the flowers. Let's see. What am I using here? So light Poppy Parade. I'm hitting it with my light Poppy Parade first. And I know I don't have the full image stamped on here because the only thing we need out of this is our flowers. I'm using the fine tipped point, or the precision tip point, I forget what they call it, with these flowers because I don't always do so good with the brush tip end of these markers. Personally, I like the control that the fine tip point gives me, but if I have like a really big image to color in, definitely I use the brush tip. So I like to lay down the color first, smooth out all the white pieces here in these smaller images. Oh, there's my dog. You probably heard her. She's barking at some birds flying by. We've got a hound out here, so she's got quite the beller. She is a plot hound, and those dogs are bred for hunting bear. And they are stubborn, and they are strong-willed, and they are loyal, and she likes to cuddle. So she makes me laugh at how she will just hunt, 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 and then she wants to snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. All right. So just doing my fussy cutting. Did everyone have a good weekend? What did you do? We had some beautiful weather here in Wisconsin. I want to know, was the weather beautiful by you? Did you do anything fun? We desperately needed a catch-up weekend here. So I caught up on laundry, and I caught up on some Stampin' stuff I was really behind in. And honestly, I played with new product. So if you were not, I kind of went live a little bit randomly on Friday night, and I unboxed my new goodies from the new catalog that's coming out. I showed all the stuff I pre-ordered. Both of those videos are on my Facebook page and my YouTube page. So you can find them there if you want to get a sneak peek at the new stuff that you'll be able to get soon. Gloria did some swimming. I'm jealous because I love swimming a lot. Okay. So here we're doing the same thing we did on the first card. And as soon as we get these images in place, we'll start stepping up our card even more. So I am stamping this. Again, I'm trying to be aware that I'm leaving enough room for my sentiment down there. There we go. Okay. And let's get our dimensionals on here. Hi, Diana. Welcome. Glad you could join. Thanks for watching. All right, just placing some dimensionals here. For those coming in late, please come on in and help support my small business by commenting and engaging with me. You might be surprised by how much talking I'm doing, but this talking to myself is not all it's cracked up to be. And help support my small business by sharing my video on your social media timeline, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, however you like to share. Send it in a message to some friends that you know love crafting. I love it when you share it on your timeline wall because you never know who enjoys crafting in your circle of friends. And sharing is caring, right? We want to get creativity into so many homes, help people find balance, and get to flex that creative muscle, which is we all know is so much fun to flex, right? So I'm placing these flowers. All right, and then we're in about the same place we left our last card. So we're going to step it up from here. I should have had this done before I went live, but I ran out of time. So that's where that left me. Oh, Diana's husband hooked up a new monitor for her. That sounds like your husband is a keeper. Let's see here. Oh, Robin, you went UTVing in the Blue Hills. Oh my goodness. That sounds like, I bet it was beautiful. Okay, I'm going to clean off my sentiment stamp for the next step here. I just cleaned my chamois tonight. Oh, it smells so good because I just cleaned it. Little tip for those of you needing to clean your chamois, I just filled my sink with just a touch of laundry soap. I like Thieves Laundry Soap by Young Living. And I put just a touch of laundry soap in there and got it sudsy and kind of squeezed it around in there. And oh my gosh, now it smells so good. Robin, my husband and I have been talking about how we want to go UTVing more. So we are excited to get to doing some trail riding some more. We really like to go in the fall and see all the beautiful colors. So I stamped this sentiment here in Poppy Parade, and I'm going to quick clean this off on my chamois, my amazing chamois, chemical-free chamois. Isn't it amazing? And then I'm going to grab my Just Jade. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Just Jade too. Diana says, he's a keeper. We've been married 55 years. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. John and I are going to celebrate our 5th year anniversary this year. And you have been married 55 years. Congratulations. That is really something, Diana. We don't see a lot of that these days, and that's amazing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want my better to pop up and the word friends to pop up. So I stamp them in the 2 colors I want. And now I'm going to do a little more fussy cutting around these words. So because all these words are in a line, I'm going to do my best not to leave a ton of extra white space here. Just get as close to these letters as I can. Okay, so we've got better, and then I want the word friends cut out too. And I don't need the rest of this. I really just did this for these 2 words. His parents were married 73 years, hoping to do even more. That's so amazing. Oh, you just made my whole night, Diana, by sharing that with me. Thank you so much. That's so romantic. I think that's so wonderful. You're going to make it longer than them, too. I love that. Oh, Robin, great idea. Throw a can of Fix-A-Flat in your glove compartment. We had a flat tire deep in the woods. Oh, that would make me nervous to get a flat tire deep in the woods, but that's a good call. For those who are like bikers, they always tell you too to have a flat fix on hand with you, because if you're like really far away on your bike, of course it's hard to fix a flat. Okay, we've got our 2 little words here, and we're going to use our strips again from our mini dimensionals. I love the edges for these little strips of the minis. The big ones, the jury's still out. Okay, so, okay, life is better. I want that word better totally red and popping. And I also want to call out that we're friends. So I want this word friends totally popping. We're coordinating here with the colors of our flower petals. Okay, it's hard to see that. I need to get better, more lights in here. So here's how this looks so far. You see how that pops up like that? All right, now we've got our card base. Okay, half a sheet of cardstock, so that's 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4, burnishing that edge. And I need another scrap of basic white. So let me grab this. I was die cutting on this weekend. Okay, so I'm going to cut out, I want some of these flower petals from the punch. So I'm punching the stuff out. I should have saved those and just stamped the... Okay, so I've got 3 sets of big and little petals together here. Now, if you were stamping, these big and little petals coordinate here with these images. Okay, now, for those of you who watched my layering last week, we're actually going to do something kind of similar. I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm going to call it texture in my background with some of these die cut pieces or punched out pieces. So I'm taking this flower, putting a big one here on our card base, and then I'll place a small one next to it. So on our layered card that I made last week, you remember we had some stars, and I kind of put those stars on the background. Well, now this time I am doing these flower petals. Just like so. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. You just put these wherever your little heart desires. Let's see. I didn't really move this over a little bit. I don't want this right directly below. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, and now we just need to trim off these edges. So I always flip my card over, and I do that from the back side. Kind of line that up. So now all these pieces that were hanging over the edge are not. Now I'm going to lift this up because it's really hard to see with my lighting. I need some lights like down here. I have some. I've got so many things plugged in. I haven't done it yet. Okay, like this. See those? Now we're going to make these pop just a little bit. We're really stepping this up, remember? So who knows how we like to make these pop? How about our Stella? We're going to bring in our friend Stella. And I am just going to color these flowers a little bit. Ooh, she's getting dry. There we go. We don't need a lot on, just a little bit. And I'm only doing them on the flowers. Okay, so that's our first little detail to step it up. Yeah. Let's see if I can get the, oh yeah, there you go. There you can see the shimmer. Okay, now I'm headed to my handy dandy Stampin' Write markers to do a little marker flicking. And so I'm just going to flick some color across here over my flowers. That looks good. And now, whenever you do this marker flicking, you notice you might have not caught it, but I moved my cards out of the way. And before I bring them in, I'm just going to use a baby wipe to kind of wipe off my surface here so that I don't bring that ink onto my card front layer. All right, now I have to have some ribbon, of course. So I've got, this is from the, I think it's from the Playful Pets. It's a ribbon combo pack. And I like this black and white striped. Ooh, Jackie likes the flicking technique and the Stella. Awesome. Okay, I haven't used this yet. I'm so excited. I've had my eye on this one for a while, and I finally remembered to add it to my order. So we're going to take this ribbon, and I'm going to tie it along, almost like a book binding, along the folded edge of my card base. Okay, so lining that up. Now this is a little bit of a thicker twine, so I am not tying this in a knot first like I usually do, because I was afraid that the knot would give it just a little bit too much bulk. All right. And then you just pull on the ends to get your loop kind of the size you want. There you go. And then trim off the ends. Now, I'm going to show you a little something that I do. I save these little pieces because I have a hard time tying ribbons when they're bows when they're too small. And these end pieces, I don't know if these are going to be big enough or not, but I like to turn those little trimmed pieces into little bows that I can just stick on a card. So I save these, and I've got a little container of just little bows I make out of them. And sometimes when I need a little something, I just go to a little bow and grab it. All right. We need to finish putting our card together. Okay, we're going to bring that clean white piece here onto our card front. Break up some of that marker flicking that's happening behind there, just like so. And of course you can add some embellishments if you like. I think I think I'm just going to use these rhinestones. It's been a while since I just used my trusty rhinestones, and I just want a little shimmer. So yeah, there we go. In here. And here. And then I'm going to go over here and I'll call a little attention to that sentiment. All right. There is our finished card. Now, this definitely is stepped up, but not something that you can't do at home, right? We were just talking about a few extra layers, a little flicking of our marker, some fussy cutting with our scissors. Totally something that you could do on your own. This is not super complex. So here we have our simple, a little more stepped up, and our kind of avid card, all made with some punches and fussy cutting, no die cutting necessary. Oh, thank you so much. So many people are saying beautiful cards. Thank you so much. Now, again, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be so thrilled to earn your business. You can shop my online store at www.rosegrunwald.com. I've got my monthly host code. I have a typo there. Scrolling along the bottom, that code is the one you should use if your order is under $150. If it's over, you should message me because we should chat about you becoming a discount shopper so you can save 20% or more. And of course, when you order from me, I send a hand stamped thank you, and you get access to my private VIP group where, if you remember, I am offering first dibs on my grab bags. Also, just one final reminder, don't forget about my Christmas in July class to go. You only have a couple more days to sign up for that. $42.50 to get some paper, a full pack of ribbons, some embellishments, and you get to make 16 cards, envelopes included. So don't miss out on that. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you next week. Bye.